Hey, I'm Dave Harden. I'm the co-founder and managing partner for Outpost Ventures. It's a pleasure to be here today. My other co-founder and managing partner, where is he? Right there, Mark Troncali. Ben Strub, CFO. Lin Wong, investor relations over there. Marty Golan, creative director. So we got some of the tribe here in the audience with you today. It's a pleasure to be here. So really appreciate the time. So super happy to be here. I was a C-17 pilot, turned businessman. So about 5,000 flying hours, 500 combat hours, and got to serve this great nation, which is super exciting. And today, when this comes up, we're talking about 10X in dual-use tech. 10X in dual-use tech. So that's the topic today, and super exciting. You got the intros there, and now we're on cue, which is amazing. So I stalled just long enough. So I had the great fortune of creating the innovation arm at the Air Force called AFWERX. And so in that process, created a Shark Tank for the Air Force called Spark Tank. So you see there on the left there, Mark Cuban. If you guys look up, maybe like season 10, you'll see Dave Harden on a Shark Tank update. Got to spend three and a half hours with Mark. Amazing. Talk AI, a bunch of other stuff. And then you'll see Spark Tank there on the right. So you see a younger Dave Harden there in a flight suit, Air Force reservist, running the show, but in the background. You might recognize George Steinbrenner. There's some Yankee fans out here in the New York crowd. The Steinbrenner family. You got the Secretary of the Air Force, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, the winner for Spark Tank, Mark Cuban, Lauren Knausenberg, she's now the Chief Information Officer for the Air Force. This was a culture change for the Air Force. In fact, AFWERX got ranked number 16 most innovative place to work in Inc.'s ranking, ahead of Salesforce, ahead of Amazon, and so super proud of the culture we built there. I love the art of the pitch. I'm a judge. Ownership in a show called 2 Minute Drill. If you go to Apple TV, Amazon, you can see some of that stuff. And I've had some amazing experiences. One with this guy is Nolan Bushnell. He's the founder of Atari. He came out and spoke at an event. We were kind of chatting. He was telling a story. If you know Nolan, he was the very first employer for Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs comes to Nolan and he goes, "Hey, I'll give you 1/3 of Apple for $50,000. I'm getting this Apple thing off the ground." He very morbidly said, "I didn't do the investment. It'd be worth $890 billion today." And so you can imagine he's a little sad. But what it taught me was we can see opportunity right in front of our face and miss it. And so we're at the precipice of a new opportunity, and that is an emerging market in deep tech. You can see the numbers. Right? 34.4% growth in deep tech investments. Most of those, 81%, coming out of China and the US. But what's happening is the public markets, right? The government, very interested in early seed stage companies, getting the tech out quicker for the good of our nation. And so I had the pleasure of developing a program that's now called AFWERX. That's a matching program. What does a matching program mean? It means when you bring in private dollars, we're able to bring in matching non-dilutive capital from the government. So what happened is it used to be 50s, 60s, 70s, right? $3 that was spent in the government or the DoD for commercial R&D, only $1 was spent in the commercial sector. That's flipped. But the processes haven't changed. And so AFWERX, we were able to put together a program that changed that dynamic. And it worked. And it worked fast. You can see by this chart that as a result of the companies in this ecosystem, their value has increased on average 10.51x. And in fact, after award of the matching contract from the government, they've seen nearly $9 billion of private money coming into those companies. So it's real, it's not theoretical, and it's a momentum that's happening today. There's a gentleman who did some very interesting research, and this is why dual-use tech is so important in the marketplace we're in today. Most of us do investing or attached investing, and there's 5 factors: idea, team, business model, funding, and timing that affect the success of businesses. They did a study of over 200 businesses, really dove in. Because, hey, I got a great idea. When we invest, Mark and I at the firm, we talk about team, right? It's about the people. Is the people most important? Is the business model most important? How are you getting revenue? Or is it the funding, the cash flow, right? The blood of a company? Or is it timing? And the results even shocked me, but they made sense when we got them. And that is the number 1 factor is actually timing. Do you get the timing right to maximize your investment? And that's a powerful concept because in dual use investing, we get to mess with the timing a little bit. We have a company, Red 6. We helped them get their first investment. We helped them get their first government contract dollars. They now most recently raised $30 million in an A round and also got a $70 million contract. Really cool tech. So if I'm a pilot and I'm flying, I put on basically their visor. I can fly in real time, but I can see a tanker. I could see a Russian fighter, right? I can see a Chinese missile, and I'm flying against it as if I'm really flying against it. Huge cost saving, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, because I don't have to fly that other airplane. Augmented reality, right? Killing it. These are the types of companies that are coming out of this ecosystem. Scale AI, the youngest billionaire ever, was made. We helped them get $1 million contract with the government as they were going on their journey. Most recently, they just raised $350 million on a $7 billion valuation, and the IRR was nearly 300% year over year. How many people here like proprietary deals? Curated deals, only deals that you can have access to. That's what we've created. So the Outpost, as a separate entity, provides deal flow to the venture fund model and have closed over $350 million in contracts with the government, ensuring that those companies have revenue. The fund then gets to cherry pick the best and the brightest, the ones that we think are going to get the most return. This is an example of a portfolio company of ours, Hypergiant AI. They do amazing AI ML for the Space Force, right? So they're able to take a small satellite up in space, and let's say you need to have maintenance on it. Can I predict that? They actually have little thrusters on satellites, right? And when the thruster fails, they have to go do an electrical shock. And that thruster could be a day, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. You don't know how long that satellite's going to be out of commission. Hypergiant AI is able to take that data and tell you exactly how long it's going to be out of commission and what you need to do to fix it. We have curated deals at the table that are coming in constantly. We have a company we've gotten multiple contracts for in Duralock that we're putting a multi-million-dollar investment in. A neurosurgeon who figured out the next generation of fasteners because there was failures in back insertions that he was doing. And it turns out that his technology actually applied to aircraft and space vehicles. And so he's now in talks with Boeing and Lockheed, Airbus, to replace all of the fasteners in the KC-135, 440 refuelers, the bomber fleet, and space vehicles. I know there's been a lot of talk about real estate, and many folks, many family offices have made money in real estate. But I would say there's a new emerging market in dual-use tech. We've incubated it, curated it, and believe there's a real opportunity that smart family offices will think about and take advantage of in this new economic environment. Why dual-use tech? We have curated proprietary deal flow. 80% and more of the investments have government contracts. This isn't pre-revenue stuff, right? Oh, by the way, the timing of when we make our investment, our $10 million comes in, guess what? $10 million from the government comes in, you get an immediate IRR boost, immediate increase in valuation in the company. And we're set up to do a bunch of exits. We're in the M&A business in terms of the exit from the investments. We're not waiting 10 years necessarily for the IPO markets, et cetera, et cetera. It's about rapid, high IRR exits in this space. We try to keep it short and sweet. I think this is super interesting. If you're interested in 10X in the dual use space, come see me, come talk to one of our team members. We'd love to talk to you more about it. More importantly, if you'd like to come up, I heard a guy whispering as he was coming up. He's like, I didn't know Alec Baldwin was going to be speaking at the family offices. So if you want to take a picture, you could put on social media. I was hanging out with Alec Baldwin all day. It's all good. So come up, take a picture. More importantly, enjoy the rest of the conference, and I challenge you to do good and make money. Thank you, guys.